Hello, this is Minder Chen. I'm a professor of management information system at Martin Viss Smith School of Business and Economics at CSU Channel Island. In this video, we're going to talk about how to analyze and manipulate a list in Excel. If you have the Excel lab file and unzip it, you'll find out this T2 list spreadsheet. Double click it, open it up, and this is what you're going to see. And I have several worksheets in this in this file, and the first one is just explaining what is considered a list in Excel. As you can see here, a list is a collection of row and column consistently formatted data, which you cannot have an empty line, and each of the column need to have the same type of information, like it's all number or text. I mentioned that don't leave a blank line in between, otherwise you break the list. And so Excel will have the ability to recognize this set of data is a list if you format it properly. That will make the use of some of the function in Excel much easier. And here I list kind of the syntax of SQL select statement a little bit. In SQL select statement, you can select a list of columns from a table or tables, and you can decide it, what row you want to look at it. You can set a criteria, and you can group the data and aggregate it in a certain way, and you can also sort the data. So you're going to see actually some mapping between this data retrieval select function in SQL, comparing that to the list manipulation capability in Excel. For instance, in Excel you can sort. Okay, you can sort data, which is ordered by. The auto filter is kind of corresponding to the where clause in terms of search criteria, to kind of limit the kind of data you want to see. The group and aggregate functions related to this group by. Condition formatting is kind of like filtering, but it's more visual comparing to SQL. And last, we're going to talk about the pivot table. Pivot table is a very powerful tool. Later in data warehouse lecture, we're going to use this even more. So let's look at just an example of a list. This is actually a sales data of various magazine in different region by different salesperson during different month. And by the way, so this is a list. On the right hand side is a little bit of instruction for you to follow if you want to learn how to use the list in terms of sorting. But let's look at how should we sort. You can be in any cell within the list. That's the beauty of the list. You're going to see that, and then you can just click here. For instance, you want to sort it by salesperson. You can just say sort this column where your current cell is, okay, in ascending order, in descending order. Okay, if you want to sort it by sales in terms of the dollar amount, you can sort it from high to low or low to high. Okay, and so if you want to sort it by more than one column, this is what you're going to do. You will just come here and say sort. You can say I want to sort it by, let's say, the sales dollar amount, and let's say from high to low. And you can add another level. For instance, you want to sort it by let's just use the sales rep, okay, alphabetically, just in case there's a tie in terms of the sales amount for the record. You want to sort it by the sales rep's name in ascending order. So I'm going to say OK. So you find out this is sorted in price first, and when there's a tie, we're sorted by sales rep's name in ascending order. So this concludes our discussion of sorting, the sorting of a list. Let's switch and look at filter. For filters, you can be, I think you can be anywhere in the list, and you go to the data tab. Okay, in the data tab, and then if you can click filter, now you see actually the column here. Okay, let me go back so you can see the difference. You see the column here? Nothing unusual other than it's in boldface, all the text is in boldface. But if you click under data, if you choose filter, okay, and you find out now, if you drop it down, you can say I only want to see Anderson's sales data. That's what you're going to see. So you see this little icon show that there's a filter being applied to this column. If you want to get it back, you can just do it here. And by the way, you can actually sort it here if you want to. Okay, so you can kind of combine sorting and filtering. You can clear the filter. That's one way you can clear the filter. Okay, and without when I say clear the filter, doesn't mean we get rid of. This is how you get rid of filter. Clear the filter just that you don't use individual filter within this column, but you can still come down here and select a specific filter. So if you only want to see data in a particular year, that's what you're going to see. Okay, and so this is equivalent once again to the where clause in SQL, but you don't have to write SQL statement. It's kind of point and click. You can apply multiple filter as you wish, in this case to various columns. Let's look at the grouping and aggregate function. The grouping and aggregate function kind of work this way. By the way, this is an instruction. Okay, and if we need to kind of sort the data. Let's look at the instruction a little bit. Okay, so we're going to kind of arrange the data. It has been arranged to some extent, so that, for instance, we are going to group by sales rep. So you kind of have to kind of sort. Let's first sort the data by price. But if you want to group the data by sales rep, sorted by the sales rep, so it's kind of all the sales rep data has been together. Okay, that's important for the grouping later on. And once you have that, you can come here. You can certainly use grouping, but let's use subtotal here. You can play with grouping and ungrouping. You just say subtotal. The system kind of know that's the whole list, so they highlight the whole region of the list. So you're going to say, okay, for each change in sales rep, that's what we wanted, because we kind of group and arrange the data based on the sales rep. And so we would add the subtotal. In this case, those are the aggregate function you can choose. Sum, count, average, maximum, minima. So we're familiar with those aggregate functions, very similar to what we use in SQL in Access. So we're going to add subtotal to the sales rep. Okay, we don't really have a current subtotal, so we can kind of get rid of it or keep it. I don't think it will hurt. Okay, and then you can say, okay, summarize, create a summary below the data. So this is what has been added. You see this bracket, which allowed us to look at Anderson's. Okay. Interesting. Okay, I'm not getting what I wanted. Let me come back here. Okay, let's do subtotal. I must did something wrong. Oh, I know. Okay, so still at each change in sales rep, I want to add. I did the wrong thing. I want to add all the sales data together to give me a kind of subtotal. Got it? So now I got the subtotal. Rachel Anderson's subtotal is this much for all the sales transaction that we have here. And same thing, if you scroll down, you will get Peter Bucknell's subtotal. The bracket on the left hand side, if you can see it here, okay, if you click 1, you got the grand total, and you can expand it to the next level. So we're going to get the subtotal for each sales rep, and if you want to look at specific detail, you can just click here. That's the third level. You can see the detail record. If you don't want it, you can contract it, you can expand it. So this kind of allow you to do something, we call it roll up, drill down, and roll up. Okay, so this is a nice way to present the data. Okay, so I'm going to close this lecture here. There will be another lecture on conditional formatting, which is very interesting, and how to use pivot table to show data that we have. So stay tuned, and thanks for listening. Thank you. Bye-bye.